good morning. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. There have been a few new people. My name is Elle, and this is December 15th. No, it is not. January 15th, 2023. So I'm back with an update. How's your year been going so far? Everything could go wrong has gone wrong for me. So yeah, I'm hoping the rest of the month goes smoothly. So we've had a cold snap, which I found out that my furnace is acting up and had to get that repaired. We've had my rent, so my bank, I do what's called bill pay. So I pay the bill online and then my bank pays my bill. Yeah, they never paid my rent. So I go to take care of that today and find out it's a national holiday, can't reach the bank. It's one thing after another, right? So, and we finally have winter, so it's lightly snowing. I went out last night to watch football with my son. We met up at the local pizza pub, and yeah, it was like 16 degrees. I was so glad I didn't have very far to go. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're here for stitching, right? So, let's see. The first one I started with was my Feasting Frenzy by Dimensions. This was a gift that I received last month. I started this and I didn't like it. I couldn't see it on the fabric properly. So I restarted it on a piece of 18 count Aida that I dyed myself using Teal Rit. And there's my start. So you can see the colors are showing up a lot better than they did before. So I don't know when I'll get back to this, but that at least is a start. This weekend I was going to work on my Weaver's Tapestry. Like I said, I went out and met up with my son for football and just had other things going on, so very little stitching got done this weekend. But here's my Weaver's Tapestry. This is a free design, as I've mentioned before, that you can get from magicalquilts.blogspot.com. And there are several varieties of tapestries. Well, there's 3 tapestries, but she has tabs with all kinds of free designs. So last time you saw it, I had finished this band right here. Well, you can see over here, right there, I finished this band and I did the next couple of stitches. And so all I did was I came up to get to the top of this next band and did this line here and then came in and filled that in right there. So that's all that I did so far. But this right here where I fold the fabric is the halfway point. So this is a very long piece, but yeah, the halfway point's coming up pretty quickly. This is a piece of fabric I got from Kaylee at Thesewingshop.ca, and it's called Skopelos. I said this right before, I know I did. Skopelos 18 count Aida. So I love the colors. I love the movement. So you can see I'm coming into more of these dark colors. So that's my Weaver's Tapestry. So another one that got a little bit of work early on, I worked on this the first 2 days of the month, was everybody's favorite, Grackles. So let's see if I can put in, here's a picture of what Grackles will look like. And I just filled in some of this here on the background. So yeah, I'm just working background. Now, you may know that my oldest granddaughter named all the birds. This is Billy, and Billy is completely done. And now we have Tom coming in. So there's a little bit of Tom. Let me see if I can. This is so big. Okay, so this is stitched on a 20 count Aida. Just plain white, nothing fancy. This one is now at 12.11%. So yeah, I've been working on this a while, but as much as I love it, I keep setting it aside and saying, okay, as soon as I get some of the smaller pieces done, I can give this lots of time. I finally decided that I'm going to have this as a finish in 2026. So yeah, it's huge, and I'm going to finish it in 2026. So the next one that I worked on, this is another one that a lot of people like. This is 4 Seasons. This is by Dome or Soda Stitch. I got it from the Soda Stitch shop. And I've been working up in this section up in here. So these trees were done. I'll put over my face an image of where that section was, and then you can see the difference. So that just got one day. But yeah, this is now at 41.14%. This is just a 16 count Aida that I dyed myself. I lightly dipped it in some blue. I don't even remember which shade of blue. Might have been denim. It's either denim or royal. I would say one of those two. So that's that one. So love that one. I don't have enough room here, guys. Okay, so next up is my football stitching. Now, if you're new, you probably don't know this, but I chose a piece early in the football season. I wanted to watch the game, but I wanted to stitch because I need something to do with my fingers. And I picked a piece that had a lot of block background on the one side of the design. And that worked out so well that I continued to work on it every time I watch football. So this is where it is. And this is Strength. The artwork is by Nicolee Payne. Oh, I didn't say. Grackles. The artwork is by Omar Rayyan, and it's a Heaven and Earth design. So this is by Nicolee Payne, the artwork is, and it is charted by UnconventionalXStitch. And I'm stitching this so you can see pretty much it's this section here that I've done since I last saw you. But I'm not quite sure where. You can see the picture that I have is kind of where it ended. I almost want to say it was up here. And I will put in a picture now of the entire piece where it is. This is on a 18 count Very Light Pewter by Zweigart. Okay, so next up is one of my newer pieces. I'm trying to think. Other than Feasting Frenzy, I think this is my newest piece. And this is Beetle Pop. So here's what Beetle Pop will look like. And if I move it over, I can put a picture over my face of where it was. So in December, after Christmas, I outlined everything. And that finished all the black in the 3371. And that's because I want to be able to jump around. So I started with her lips, and I got her lips in this month. And then I was going to do her tooth, but the colors that are in her tooth, the only other place they're in is in the snake. And I didn't want to do the snake yet. I just wanted to wait on the snake. So then I came up here and I was missing a section in her hair because I ran out of the floss. So I got the floss and I finished that. And then I started filling in her hair. Then I came over and worked on her eye. Then I tried filling in some of these empty stitches, but every time I did, they'd come down here and fill in down there. So let me give you a close-up of her eye and her lips. So that's Beetle Pop. And this is a piece that I'm working on for 200 stitches every day. This is a fabric I dyed myself using Rit Dye. I'm trying to remember what there was two yellows I mixed a neon and a lemon yellow, I think it was. If you need to know, just let me know but I will go get my bottle and I'll tell you. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. Yeah, this one is, the artwork is by LuxNovaStudios and is charted by UnconventionalXStitch. There's a pattern you'll see over time that I have a lot of their charts. So that one, did I say I'm doing 200 stitches every day on that? And that will get me a finish. And then I picked up Pokemon. This is Pokémon Alphabet. Let's see if I can, here we go. And I'm stitching this on a 20 count that I dyed myself. Let's see if I can give you, there's the fabric. I will put over here, this is where it was when you saw it on January 1st. And you may be wondering how I got so much done. And that leads me to the title of this video. So, Oh, you know what? Before we go into that, let me tell you about my display back here. Move this so you can see. This first one down here, I kind of rotate this around. So if you're new, the background kind of changes. This one right here is October by Paula Vaughn from the book Quilt for All Seasons, and I stitched that on an 18 count barnwood by Picture This Plus. This right here is Rebecca Nurse. That is from Primitive Hair, which I bought from her Etsy shop. And that is stitched on, I don't remember the name of it, but that's stitched on XG Design fabric. And then this one, wait, I can't, this one over here, this is Tribal Owl. It's by White Willow Stitching. And it is, I purchased that long time ago from 123 Stitch. It's no longer available there, but it is available from the White Willow Stitching website and as a PDF, and I believe it's like $9. So it's not too bad. Okay, so Pokemon and my change. How did I do so much on Pokemon? So I started off this year with big plans. I had last year gone through and wrote down every project that I have in Pattern Keeper, figured out how many stitches were left, and then using 10 months as my base, I figured out how many stitches I would need each month and therefore how many days I would need to work on it. And then once I had that, you know, some needed 3 days, some needed 6. I had one that needed 14 days. That was maybe Beetle Pop, or maybe Grackles. I don't recall which one it was, but one needed 14 days. And then I started adding them up, and I wanted a number of days that would come under 30 so that I would have a couple extra days in the month to do whatever I wanted. And that's how I figured it out. So I picked 5 that I could finish. What I didn't realize until I started stitching this month, and it happened kind of organically. I was working on Beetle Pop, and I was having so much fun that when I hit 200 stitches, I didn't want to put it down. But I made myself put it down. And because I made myself put it down to work on the next project, my head kept saying, well, this isn't that big. It's not a full coverage. How long would it take to finish it if you just put everything else aside and worked on this? And I opted not to do that, obviously. But it got me thinking, I wonder what else, where else I could shift things around. And as I'm thinking about shifting, I'm thinking, oh my God, I made a huge mistake. Did you catch the mistake I made in how I calculated my finishes? Every finish I would have this year would come in the month of October, or within a 4-week period, maybe October, November, if I was a little, if I missed a few days or something. But all my finishes were going to be within a 1-month period of the year. Now, you may not realize, if you have not been here a while, I stitch for finishes. When I started stitching, I was a single parent who didn't have a lot of money. And, a lot of the money I did have, the vast majority went to my children. It was clothes, it was school functions, it was sporting events, it was, equipment for sports, you name it. We'd save a little bit, we'd take vacations, but I didn't have much as far as hobbies went. But because I was a single parent now, when my children went to bed at night, when they were little, I was home alone and I needed something to do. I didn't want to just veg out in front of a TV, but I needed something. If I was going to spend money, it was going to have to be something that was useful. And so it was cross stitch. And so the very first thing I bought was a booklet from a discounted craft store, which was the Paula Vaughn's A Quilt for All Seasons. There's 12 designs in there, and the book cost me just around $9. Okay. And then there was a fabric store that carried Aida 12 by 18 pieces for 99 cents. And our DMC was 6 for $1. So you can see this was a very inexpensive hobby for me to start. And at the end, I would have something I could put on my wall or use in decor in my home. So that qualified as useful. And ever since then, I just stitch for the finishes. So for me, last year I had 17 finishes. A lot of those were smalls. The vast majority were gifts. I stitched, October was finished, October here, in October. I had a project that I started in April and finished in May. Excuse me. And then I had a full coverage that I finished in March. That was it. So if I'm not going to have a finish until October, and then I'm going to have all of my finishes, that's going to frustrate me. And I'm not going to want to do all the finishing. I do my own finishing. I stretch and lace and frame all my own pieces because it's cheaper that way. But I don't really enjoy that part of it. So I decided I needed to stagger my finishes. And how I'm going to do that is Monday through Friday, I'm going to work on a focus piece. And in this case, because it's the only piece that is a gift, I chose Pokemon as my first focus. Pokemon is going to be worked on every Monday and Friday until it is done. That means Pokemon, instead of being finished sometime October, possibly November, to be a gift to my grandson for Christmas, it will now be done in March and can be a gift for Easter. After that, I will pick the next piece that I want to finish. And I believe at this point, I'm feeling that I have so much fun with Beetle Pop that I want to just finish that. So I've done the numbers on that. If I start that at the end of March, that will be done in May. And then I will pick the next one. And I think I know what the next one will be. But those could change. So I'm not going to get into my long-term plans other than to say right now, what you will see moving forward while I work through this is you will see one piece is getting a large amount of stitching, and then Friday and Saturday I can work on anything I want to work on. It's whatever I'm feeling. It can be something with a goal, or it could be something that has zero goal for this year at all. But I will still get the same number of finishes this way that I was going to do the other way. So all those calendars that I showed you that I color coded to kind of show you how I was breaking it up and trying to keep it from getting stale, yeah, that disappeared at the end of the first week. And I had already redone everything. So all those plans that I started with in October, November, setting up for January, yeah, it was all wasted time. Kind of. I mean, I still know which pieces I want to finish. Anyway, that's why things have changed. Moving forward, you will, in the next video, you will definitely see strength because we still have a couple more weekends of football. You will definitely see Pokémon Alphabet. Oh, Pokémon Alphabet is by Bixostitch on Etsy. I almost forgot that. On strength, while football is on, I will, for these next 2 weekends, work on the black. And let me show you where that is. Once football is over, anytime I pick that up, I am not touching black. So here is where it is. So you can see when I started this project last year, I started in March. I went up here and I did page by page all the way across the row. And then I was somewhere in here in September when football came on and I wanted to stitch to give my fingers something to do. And I decided, hey, I can just fill in that black. And from there, I have filled in all of this black. This is the very bottom where I am now. And so now you can see I just need to fill this in, which I'll put her picture of her back up here so you can see. This isn't actually background. This is more shading in her. So it's not as blocky, but yeah, there we go. So that's where that is. But I will come back up here now after football and I'll start working in her. So that's that. I have some purchases to show you, but before you do, I want to just share a couple of floss tubers that I don't think get as much love as they deserve, and one that is brand new. So with this being WIP Parade season, as everybody's calling it, I wanted to mention these three videos, these three channels, because they just did WIP Parades, and that'll introduce you to what they have. Each of these 3 individuals stitch a wide variety of projects. The first one, she stitches a lot of smalls as well, and then she has her kits and her full coverage pieces. But that's Selena from BeuBeu Handcrafts, and yeah, she's fun to watch. She's got a wide variety. She has a young family, so she doesn't get the time to stitch like I do, but that probably would be something you would relate to better than the amount of time that I have, which is, you know, I don't have children anymore. I'm no longer working outside the home. I have a lot more free time. Okay, so the next one is Carrie, the patient stitcher, and she does big projects, whether it's a kit or it's a full coverage. She just likes big things. She's loves Santas. So if you love Santas, she does plenty of Santas. She's also working right now, the hay that she's spending most of her time on is Trick or Treat. I believe it's Randall Spangler, but it's that Halloween house that a lot of people have done. But she put in a lot of progress. She just decided that what she wanted to do was sit down and work on that. And so as far as full coverage goes, she has been monogamous with that recently. And finally, my friend Zan. Zan just started her channel, so she has one video. It's her WIP Parade. She has a wide variety of styles. And she has one that she has commissioned that is not, it is from a different type of art than I've actually ever seen before. And I'm just in love. She has projects I've never seen in addition to that one. So I will link her down below, because even though I'll tell her channel is ZanXStitch, but if you type that into the search bar, because there's only one video, YouTube kind of doesn't always give it to you. So I will put a link to that down below so you can find her. And yeah, give all 3 of them some love here if you're looking for more WIP Parades. Now, purchases. So I purchased some floss. I'm not going to show you. I think I had 28 skeins that I ordered from Everything Cross Stitch, and that came in. And then I also ordered 2 kits from Bothy Threads. There's a really funny story that goes with this. So I placed an order on the 29th of December with both Everything Cross Stitch and Bothy Threads. Now, I'm in Pennsylvania. Everything Cross Stitch is in Ohio, so just the next state. Bothy Threads I ordered from the UK. No big deal. I received my receipt. It told me 3 to 5 weeks. I'm in no hurry. I have plenty to stitch on. I received both of them on the 8th of January at the same time. So something coming from the state right next door to me, I could drive to in an hour or so. And from the other side, over in Europe, arrived at my home on the same day. It was quite shocking. So this first one is Swallows. And I absolutely love that. And it comes with everything, so you can see all the floss. This right here is a piece of plastic holding the needle. And I mentioned that for a reason. It does come with a piece of aida, but I think I might change that out. It comes with a 14 count. And I'm not really fond of 14 count anymore, but I also think that this design would look really cool on something blue for sky. Or even a mixture of blues and maybe greens to simulate trees or something, but not this white. So there's that one. And then the other one is Variety of Life. And yeah, so you see this one comes in cardboard. And I want to show you, it comes with this little note explaining that they've changed their packaging, and moving forward, everything is going to be plastic free because that's what they want to do. And so, let me open this without ripping it. And so when you get your box, everything in here, there's 0 plastic. So you can see you've got your cards with your floss on it, and even to the point where they now put this little card in that holds your needle. So you can see right there's the needle. So if you order from Bothy Threads, if you care about what you're stuff is packaged in, then yeah, this is their new packaging. So one day I look forward to, maybe towards the end of the year, I do have everything planned to kind of finish in October, so maybe November or December I can start one or both of those. Neither one are very large. Again, Variety of Life, it comes with this speckled aida, and it's white, and so I think this one's 16 count. I will probably change out that fabric as well. So that's all I really have for you today. Yeah, if you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions of how I should have set this up this year, let me know down below. And with that, I will say goodbye, and I will see you on February 1st. See ya.